Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Lola Speaks Podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you're here, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for sitting with me, for listening, for allowing me to share space with you wherever you are right now. Whether you're driving, cleaning, working, laying in bed, sitting somewhere in silence, or trying to make sense of your thoughts, or even just needing something real to listen to today, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad that you chose me. Today, I want to talk very, very honestly with you guys from an honest place, not a polished place, not a, like I have it all figured out place, not, a 5-step easy fix your life 5 steps on 5 easy steps how to fix your life place, but a very real, very very human place, because lately I've been in a weird space in my life, like a really weird space. And I know I can't be the only one who has felt like that before, like the kind of space where you can't even fully explain what's wrong, but something inside of you feels off. You feel tired, but not just physically tired. You feel emotionally tired, mentally tired, spiritually tired. And it's like you've been carrying something heavy for so long that now your whole system is just exhausted. And what I realize is I've been in a fight or flight phase. I never put a name on it, but I finally figured it out today. I said today to myself, like, I'm so tired of fighting. And I'm like, damn, I've really been living in a fight or flight phase for a while. That space where, your body feels like it has to stay ready. Like your mind feels like it has to stay alert. Your heart has to stay guarded. Your spirit has to stay braced for impact at all times. And the truth is, I don't want to fight no more. I just don't want to fight no more. And that's really the heart of this episode. I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to fight everything and not everyone, every emotion, every battle, every misunderstanding, every disappointment, every fear, every outcome. I don't want to fight a job. I don't want to fight friends. I don't want to fight family. I don't want to fight my kids. I don't want to fight peers. I don't want to fight anymore. I am just tired. And I think there comes a point in life where you realize that survival mode may have protected you for a season, but it was never supposed to become your permanent way of living. So if you've been feeling on edge, feeling weird, feeling emotionally unavailable, overly emotional, moments where you shut down, irritated at the smallest little things, a bit detached, anxious, restless, like you just can't sleep at night, or just tired of carrying so much all the time, this episode is for you. It's for us. It's for you and me. So today we're talking about survival mode. What fight or flight really looks like in real life. How it sneaks into your personality. Why peace can feel uncomfortable when chaos has been your normal. And what it looks like to say, I don't want to fight anymore. I want peace. I want healing. I want softness. I want rest. So let's dig into it. When people hear the words fight or flight, a lot of times it makes you think of like a panic situation, like it's an emergency or something so dramatic is happening. But real life fight or flight doesn't always look or feel dramatic. Sometimes it looks like waking up already irritated, your shoulders always being tense, being quick to react, shutting down, um, shutting down emotionally before anyone can even get the slightest bit of close to you. Looks like overthinking every little thing, always expecting bad news, not trusting your peace because you're so used to problems. It looks like never being able to relax fully because you always feel like something is about to happen. And that's the thing people don't talk about enough. Like, you're so overly used to something always happening, something always going wrong, that you're just in this you just can't function right because you're so much in survival mode. Like, you can go to work, handle your responsibilities, take care of people, show up smiling, posting, pushing through, and still internally feel like your nervous system has not sat down in months and months. And that's so real. Even when you feel like you're at a state of peace, realistically, because every little thing that happens, you're dramatic about it or you're on edge about it because you're still in that fight or flight mode. Everything is unsettling. Everything is unsettling. And that's real. And, sometimes you're not lazy, you're overloaded. There's moments where you feel like, oh my gosh, I should be doing something today. But all you can do is lay in your bed and barely watch TV because the TV is watching you. And that's because you're overloaded. You're not lazy. You're just tired. You're just tired. And sometimes you can feel like you're being mean, but really you're just overstimulated. I kind of caught myself kind of like getting easily irritated or like being more sarcastic because I know that I'm overstimulated, and I'm also processing. I'm processing emotions. I'm processing current events. I'm processing. So the littlest of things have been somewhat irritating me to where I'm kind of like being mean to my kids, and not on purpose, but it's just happening. And I kind of noticed it yesterday. And I'm also noticing that I'm kind of like being cold or guarded because someone can ask me a question and I'm just not answering. And they're just looking at me like, so you're not going to answer the question? And it's like, I just don't even feel like talking. So why are you even asking me these questions? But it's not on purpose. It's not on purpose. I just feel like I'm just carrying too much, and like it's just a lot going on. And I think a lot of us, especially if life has required us to be strong for a long time, survival mode becomes normal. That we stop recognizing that we are in survival mode. We call it stress or being too busy or the big old INDEPENDENT. Oh, I'm just being independent, strong, I'm careful, or like, oh, I'm protecting my peace. Big on I'm protecting my peace though, because that's also important. But deep down, what's really happening is that our body and mind have gotten so used to defending, anticipating, bracing, and coping the rest. The things that feel unfamiliar. Like when you're quiet, people feel like you're being suspicious. Or like when you try to operate in your soft mode, your feminine mode, it feels like too much of a risk. Your peace kind of feels temporary in moments where you feel your softest. And like, even like your joy, even like when you just want to be happy, you feel like you got to kind of be careful with being too happy because shit, something might happen in this happiness moment, in this happy moment. Like, you got to chill. And that's a hard way to live. And I've been realizing that lately. Because, you know, I've spent so much time in fight or flight that I started feeling like something I've survived instead of something that I was allowed to experience. Like, even if I get over a hump, I'm like, oh, I survived that. And it's like, what if I was just meant to experience that moment and experience the glow after, instead of feeling like, or instead of viewing it as I survived something, you know? Like, I don't want to continue to move through life with my fist ready for a fight, even if nobody don't see it. Like, I see it. The crazy part is a lot of times it makes sense why you got there, right? Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it really doesn't. Maybe like life taught you to stay ready. Maybe relationships taught you to stay guarded. Maybe disappointment taught you not to expect too much. Heartbreak taught you not to trust what feels good. Stress taught you that if you don't stay on top of everything, it will all fall apart. Pain made you feel like you always needed a backup plan, a wall, an exit strategy, a mask. Survival mode is not something to shame yourself for. It developed for a reason. It protected you. It got you through. It kept you moving. It helped you endure. But because sometimes something protected you in a season does not mean it's healthy for every season. And I think that's where a lot of us are. We're in a season where the things that once protected us is now exhausting. And we're starting to realize, I don't want to live like this anymore. Now, this is the part that really got me. This is the part that really gets me, you know, like when you've been in survival mode for a long time, it can start to feel like it's just like who you are, a part of your personality. Like, you start to say things like, oh, I'm just guarded. I don't trust people. I'm the type who always has my guard up. I'm just emotionally unavailable. I'm quick with it. I'm quick on my toes, quick on my feet. You come for me, I'm definitely gonna come back for you. I'm always thinking ahead. I'm like I said earlier, I'm independent. I'm just better on my own. I'm just not a soft person. These are all things that we start to reiterate out in the open in the world. Like when people start recognizing things about us and we just say, oh, this is just me. This is me. This is who I am. And I was always taught to not settle with this is just who I am, because people are supposed to evolve and change and grow. So if there's a version of you that isn't quite literally appeasing to the masses, maybe you should learn how to not be, quote unquote, that's just who I am version of you. Yeah, maybe you should just learn how to evolve, grow, and change. Because sometimes that's not your personality. Sometimes that's your protection. Sometimes that's not who you are at your core. Sometimes that's who you had to become to survive what you were going through. Whew. That is a hard truth. That's the hard truth, because there's a difference between your personality and your survival response. There's a difference between being wise and being walled off, between being discerning and expecting harm, between being strong and never letting yourself rest. It's a difference between protecting your peace and isolating yourself because you don't feel safe enough to be seen. Sometimes we've been surviving so long that we don't even know what we look like outside of defense mode. Who are you when you're not bracing? Who are you when you're not overthinking? Who are you when you're not trying to stay 10 steps ahead emotionally? Who are you when you're not expecting disappointment? Who are you when you're not trying to prove that you're okay? Who are you? Because underneath all the tension, underneath the reactions, the sharp edges, the distance, even underneath the I'm fine, there's a softer version of you, a lighter version of you, a safer version of you, a more peaceful version of you that's not weak, that's not naive, that's not foolish, just healed enough to stop living like every moment is a threat. And that can feel unfamiliar. And I'm big on that. I'm fine. I'm big on saying, oh, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm good. Because when you build your life around being strong, being needed, being guarded, and being emotionally self-protective, softness can feel irresponsible. Rest can feel lazy. Receiving can feel unnatural. Stillness can feel unsafe. Trust can feel dangerous. So even when your spirit is crying out for peace, a part of you still feels like you have to stay ready. And what an uncomfortable space to be in. Like when you just feel like you always have to stay ready. Like no one wants to always have to stay ready. Like I am so tired of the fight. I'm tired of the fight. Like I feel like I've been fighting for a long time, and I feel like I just want to be at peace. I just want to be at peace for some. I want to feel what peace feels like. I want to see what true happiness looks like. You know, I want to know. So I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. And it's not because it's not just about being tired of conflict or tired of arguing, being tired of going back and forth with people. It's really deeper than that. I'm tired of fighting internally. I'm tired of fighting my thoughts, my fears, my emotions, my past, the need to be understood, or even the urge to defend myself all the time, disappointment, or that need to always be okay. Even fighting to hold it all together. Like I want to be in a space where I can always be vulnerable. Whether it's just with my friends, my family. Like, I kind of want to be that person that really wears their heart on their sleeve, you know? Like, I want to know what that feels like, to wear your heart on your sleeve and just let it all out and be vulnerable and be just as open as you possibly can with what you're feeling at the moment, and not harboring things and not carrying it over, and just taking a deep breath and saying, this is where I'm at right now. This is where I'm at. Because I don't want to fight no more. I just want everything to be laid out on the table. And I want you to know exactly what I'm feeling, because, stress kills. Stress kills. And sometimes the exhaustion isn't from people. It's from the war happening inside of you. It's from the war that's happening inside of you, the things that you're internalizing, the things that we're internalizing. And maybe that's where some of us are right now. Maybe we've gotten tired of constantly managing ourselves, trying to snap back, trying to shut down, constantly trying not to overreact, trying not to cry, trying not to care, constantly trying to stay composed while internally feeling like we are one inconvenience away from unraveling. That kind of exhaustion is real. And sometimes you don't want to fight anymore, because fighting takes too much energy. It takes energy to stay mad, to stay defensive. It takes energy to keep replaying things in your mind. It takes energy to keep proving your point. It takes energy to keep holding on pain in your body. It takes energy to keep carrying what should have been released a long time ago. At some point, peace starts looking better than being right. At some point, rest starts looking better than winning every argument nobody even knows you're having in your head. At some point, letting go starts looking better than controlling everything. At some point, you realize, I don't need more pressure. I need peace. I need more armor. I don't need more armor. I need safety. I don't need to keep proving how strong I am. I need room to breathe. I need room to breathe. And that's just such a sacred place to arrive at, because the version of you that says, I don't want to fight anymore is not giving up. She's telling the truth. She's telling the truth about her limits. She's telling the truth about her pain. She's telling the truth about what she can no longer carry. She's telling the truth about what survival cost her. And sometimes the truth sounds like, I'm tired. I'm overstimulated. I'm overwhelmed. I'm carrying too much. I don't have the energy for chaos. I don't want to argue. I don't want to defend myself. I don't want to keep responding to everything. I don't want to keep living with my body in emergency mode. That truth matters. And I think one of the bravest things we can do is admit when our soul is tired. Not because we're weak, but because we're human. We're human. We're all human. And sometimes we just get tired. And it's not us giving up, because I don't want nobody to give up, because I want you to always remember that we all have a purpose in this life, and giving up is not it. God has put a purpose in our life. And although obstacles come and things may feel hard, and you're tired and overstimulated and all the things, I just want y'all to remember that we have a purpose. And I have to sometimes remind myself that I still have a purpose. And maybe I'm closer to fulfilling that than I think that I am. Maybe I'm closer to fulfilling that than I think that I am. And I want to choose peace because it sounds so beautiful. What people don't talk about enough is that there is grief in becoming softer. There is grief in laying down survival patterns that once kept you safe. There is grief in not being the hyper-independent version of yourself anymore. There's grief in not always being the one who has it together, the one who's in Jesus. There's grief in admitting that you need rest. There's grief in admitting that you want tenderness, and realizing how long you have been surviving instead of living. Because softness after survival is not just a choice, it's a process. And sometimes it's a scary process because if chaos has been familiar, peace can feel foreign. If unpredictability has been familiar, stability can feel suspicious. If hurt has been familiar, rest can feel so uncomfortable. Sometimes when you finally get a quiet moment, you don't even know what to do with it. You pick up your phone, you start thinking about what could go wrong, you create new stress, you feel restless, you feel unsettled because your body has been trained to expect tension. That doesn't mean you don't want peace. It means peace is something your system has to relearn. And that is such an important part of healing. Healing is not always instantly feeling calm. Sometimes healing looks like noticing how uncomfortable calmness makes you. Healing looks like noticing how fast you reach your defense. It looks like noticing how hard it is to receive softness without waiting for the catch. It looks like noticing that even when things are okay, a part of you is still scanning for danger. And I do that often. And instead of judging yourself for that, you begin to meet yourself with gentleness. You say, okay, this makes sense. I've been through a lot. I've carried a lot. I've had to be strong for a long time. No wonder peace feels unfamiliar. No wonder rest feels hard. No wonder softness feels vulnerable. That self-compassion matters because you cannot bully yourself into healing. You can't shame yourself into peace. You can't force your nervous system to trust what it has not yet experienced consistently. You have to build safety slowly, patiently, and honestly. And let me say this too. Softness doesn't mean weakness. Please hear me when I say this. Softness is not weakness. Peace is not passive. Rest is not laziness. Boundaries are not cruel. And tenderness is not stupidity. You can be soft and still have standards. You can be peaceful and still be powerful. You can be kind and still say no. You can be healed and still be discerning. Put your weapons down without lowering your worth. This is still strength. Real strength is not always who can carry the most pain without breaking. Sometimes real strength is saying, this is hurting me. I'm exhausted. This is too much. I need to step back. I need to slow down. I need to stop forcing. I need peace. That's strong. That's mature. That is honest. That is healing. So, what does it actually look like to start healing out of survival mode? Because I know this all sounds beautiful, but let's bring it into real life for a moment, because healing out of survival mode does not always look dramatic. And I'm learning this today. Like, I'm trying to figure out what it looks like to not be always in survival mode. Like, sometimes it looks small. Sometimes it looks like I'm pausing before you react. Sometimes it looks like not answering immediately, choosing silence over explaining yourself, going to bed instead of staying up, overthinking, like not picking up emotional battles that do not belong to you. It looks like crying instead of numbing, like admitting that you're not okay, resting without writing yourself a guilt trip about it. Healing can look like asking yourself what actually feels safe to me right now. And don't shoot me, but I looked this up on Chatty because I was like, what does healing look like? What does what does choosing peace look like? What does, not being in that flight or fight mode look like? And Chatty said healing can look like asking yourself, what actually feels safe to me right now? What is draining me? What am I constantly bracing for? What am I trying to control because I don't trust things to hold? What do I need more of? What do I need less of? And what am I trying to carry? What am I tired of carrying? And those questions stuck out to me so much because we don't ask ourselves this often. Like, why am I constantly bracing for something? Like, what is it that I'm bracing myself for? And why am I always trying to be in control of everything? Like, we don't ask ourselves those questions often. And I think one of the biggest parts of healing out of survival mode is learning that you do not have to respond to everything. And I've been learning that a lot, that, everything does not deserve a response. Everything does not deserve a reaction, your energy, an explanation, or access to you. Some things really can be released, be left alone, can be answered with silence, can be met with distance. It don't need, and you really don't, don't need to be around. You don't need to be around it. That is peace. That is wisdom. That is emotional maturity. Healing can also look like creating rhythms that tell your body you are safe. That word safe is sticking out to me like a sore thumb. And I don't know, it just hits an emotional nerve when I say safe. When I say peace, like, I just want to cry. Because what is that? What is safety? What really is peace? What does that look like? What does it feel like? This episode has become super long, and maybe I need to do a part 2 because I know we're almost touching an hour on this episode, and I try to keep my episodes to a good 30 minutes. But I guess I'm just in that weird space that I just haven't even realized the space that I'm in, and I guess it's taking a toll. And I kind of just wanted to share with you guys, and I had a couple of emotional moments there. And I just hope that this message resonates with somebody. I'm definitely going to pick up in another part 2. So stay on the lookout for part 2 to this episode, because I feel like I'm a little extended here. And I don't want this to go over anyone's head. I want it to kind of like resonate, and I want you to kind of like feel it. And I want you to be able to, I don't know, like sit in it. I don't want to be too drawn out to where you get distracted, because I know distractions happen. And if you've been hearing me chewing my gum throughout this episode, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It's my emotional support. It's my emotional support gum at the moment, okay? Give me a break. I also want to apologize about the people in the background mowing the grass when I decided to record this episode, because where the hell did they come from? They weren't here before I started. But anyways, like I said, this is becoming a long episode, and I am going to see you guys in part 2. I want to say thank you so much for listening to Lola Speaks Podcast. This episode is a heavy one. It's not a light one. It's a needed one, because I feel like so many people are in this space right now of a fight or flight mode. So many things are happening. So many transitions are going on in this moment, and not only in my life, but in other people's lives as well. And I just hope that this message reaches you. I hope that this message is something that you can look back on 10 years from now, a year from now, 2 months from now, 2 minutes from now, and rewind or fast forward to a part that makes you feel like, wow, this is it. This is the moment that I needed. This is what I needed to hear. I just want you to know that I love you to life. I love you beyond life. And I want to say again, thank you for listening to Lola Speaks Podcast. Be on the lookout for part 2 of this episode. Peace.